All right, back on with us and back in the octagon this Saturday is William Knight. It has been quite the road to get to his second octagon appearance, but he faces Un Jung at UFC Vegas 23. The Nightmare is finally back. How are you, man?
Good. I'm good. Just patiently waiting.
Yeah, I mean this whole road to your second UFC fight, this is like par for the course for your like entire MMA career. It's not like nothing's ever easy, but you stick with it and eventually the time will come. That time is this Saturday at the Apex. What have these last couple of months been like for you, losing out on two fights with Alonzo Menifield on two different dates and then getting a new date and a new opponent this time around? What have the last couple of months been like for you, man?
A lot of training and dieting, man. Just a lot of training and dieting. Just been in a crazy mindset that started to affect people around me because I was in a mindset of like just training and sacrificing like people around me, like pushing people away, just trying to stay on course, regardless if the fight doesn't happen, not to fall off, because usually after a fight, I tend to try to enjoy myself after, like light training, go out, eat, see people, talk to a few people, because, I distance myself. But since last year, when I found out I was fighting for February, that's how long it's been. And it started to affect me mentally. Well, I'm back on track now.
So when you say like you started pushing people away, like did they eventually kind of understand what you were dealing with, being a UFC fighter, preparing for multiple dates, etc.?
Some understood, some didn't. Some like misunderstood because they thought, otherwise. But most people understood. But the important people, they misunderstood or didn't understand what was going on.
So the ride or dies are still there, and it's one of those like important lessons you have to kind of learn along the way as you're a fighter. Cause sometimes you win, everybody wants to be on board. Sometimes you lose, people fall off the wagon, then things sort of randomly happen along the way. And you realize like who the true folks are, right?
Yeah. I was like, I know who my ride or dies are. Like, I know the people that the good, the bad, and the ugly that'll stick by my side. Even when I'm wrong, they'll sit there and say I'm right and then tell me that I'm wrong later. They don't let me. Those are the people like you have to really sit there. They'll never make you look away in front of others. But behind closed doors, they'll let you know your truth so you can fix it.
Yeah, I think everybody needs people like that. What exactly happened that led to the scratch from UFC 260? Are you able to talk about that?
Yeah, I can talk about it. So in February, Alonzo Menifield got COVID, and then I got COVID. And I was like, I don't know how I got COVID. I feel nice. But other than feeling weak, because I thought it was because of the weight cut, that was it. It didn't affect me otherwise. So they said I had it. I went there Tuesday. They tested me Wednesday morning. I'm going to the scale. And they told me that I had it. And then the fight got scratched, at least for me. But they had a backup for him.
Who was also a New Englander in Fabio Chiron. Did you end up watching that fight?
Yeah. I was like, the fight went how my coach said it was going to go if it was me. He was like, as soon as the fight starts, he's going to throw. And everything we drilled and trained, it was right there before my eyes. That fight would have ended early. I'm telling you this right now. I don't care what he thinks or what he says, but that fight would have ended early. Lights out.
So when you watch that all happen, were you just like, damn it. Like, I knew this was coming.
Like, I seen it all happen. The angles, the way he threw the punches, the setups that we had, the whole nine, like everything was right there. Like, just to see it happen, I was like in the living room replicating what was going down. And as it was thrown, I was showing people what was about to happen. I'm like, yo, we've been drilling this so much that it just comes accustomed now. And it happened. I watched it happen. I was like, yo.
Nightstradamus over here. They were probably like, oh, man, watching you mimic all those movements. And there we are. And it's kind of sucks because, like, I know how much, like, when this fight was first announced between you and Alonzo, like, everybody was fired up for it. That was perfect matchmaking. And now you have a new opponent, happens to be Un Jung, who he's been on a tear. I know there's some New England familiarity with him since he fought Mike Rodriguez already. I'm sure the date was far more important than the opponent. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, like opponents it don't matter to me as long as the UFC can get me, keep me active. Like I'm just one of how many people on the roster, so I'm grateful regardless of what they got. I'm not really one to be picky or complain. The physicality of me and Alonzo Menifield is why people thought it was going to be a great fight. But on paper, they claim he's done more than I have. But people don't really look at the local circuit on the people that I fought. Like Howard, he fought Phil Davis. Like you got to think about that. He fought Phil Davis in Bellator. So it's like the people I fought also, and they fought in high levels. It's just the high levels that you guys aren't familiar with. Like Phil Davis is no pushover. Like think about it. So I sit here and I'm like, on paper, people claim he fought better opponents, but at the end of the day, who's a better opponent if you're not comparing yourself to yourself?
It's a good way of looking at it. I assume, I mean, you're obviously focused on Saturday, but I assume that Alonzo fight, that's something you want to revisit if all goes well on Saturday.
Of course it's going to happen. No matter what happens Saturday, that fight is going to happen. It's going to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I got ready for that fight twice. And I can't let that go. That grind, everything I was doing, trust me, I am far more than prepared for this fight and when I meet up with him.
Yes. And the work you've put in has been absolutely ridiculous. I actually was like shaking my head watching your, what's it called? 5 rounds of death video that you were doing. Oh. Good grief, dude. Like for those who didn't see that, like what is the 5 rounds of death? Because it pretty much mimicked what those words were. Just watching it on video is ridiculous.
I mean, it speaks for itself. Like I can't even formulate the breakdown on it. It's like you push yourself to exhaustion, and then the death rounds are when you're like you gave it your all. People don't know I did a workout before that. I just recorded the important part. Like, yo, I just finished busting my ass. I just finished running 5 miles. I just finished killing myself. I did pad work that day. I did all these things. Now the 5 rounds of death is right after I just finished doing the class. It's to push yourself beyond. It isn't to be, okay, let me rest real quick and come back to it. I was already exhausted and tired. So that's what that 5 rounds of death comes from. I can do it with any circuit.
Yeah, it's for those who haven't seen it, go check this out. It's like there's a barbell and it looks like there's 45s on each side, and there's a burpee that's into deadlift, and there's probably a whole bunch of those. And then it's like presses, and then you're doing these sort of like single leg mountain climber type movements, and then you run after that. It's like it's just so ridiculous, dude. And then you're giving motivational speeches on the run.
You gotta think of it, man. Like endurance is a weakness in the sport of combat. A lot of people that are successful are the ones who are grinding and dig deep, or the ones that have crazy endurance. So like that's something I've been working on from day one. Like endurance. Speed will come, power's there, hand-eye coordination, the cage awareness, my wrestling, all that stuff is there. It's just a fact of if I want to play around or if I want to get serious.
Here's what was interesting about the booking is if they were going to move your fight back from March 27th because you couldn't go, why couldn't they have pushed it back another week? Then you and Parker Porter could have fought on the same card. And I know that's one of the things you were hoping for your second UFC fight anyways, right? Like that would have been a strange way to get there after October, but it would have been there, like, wouldn't it? Like, why not just push it back one more week, you know?
Yeah, I don't speak on the stuff that's happening behind closed doors, but from my understanding, a lot of the fight cards are filled. Like, if I didn't take this fight, my next fight would have been in June. That's the next card they have that they're setting up, and I don't want to wait that long. So I took it. I'm like, okay, let's do April.
There you go. So how do we get this thing done on Saturday? It's been around 7 months since we've seen you in there. One of the longest layoffs of your career. How do we reintroduce yourself to the fans here?
They're going to see, like, people question my head movement. They say my chin's up. They say my hands are down. They say I'm cocky with my striking. Then you got another people saying that he doesn't like to strike. He puts himself in dangerous positions. Like, they don't know. It's a mystery. So I'm going to leave it as a mystery.
I like it. By the way, it's Tuesday as we record this. The new Venom fight kits were revealed to the public earlier today. We get to see the video and a whole bunch of photos. What do you think? This will be your you fought with the Reebok gear. Now you're getting the Venom gear. What do you think of them?
I mean, it looks nice. I gotta when I put it on and check it out. But other than that, I can't really judge on anything I haven't used yet. I was just getting familiar with the Reebok, and now it's gone. So it's like, okay.
It looks pretty similar. Like, there's some different nuances to it, but it's basically like people are comparing it's like the Reebok gear, but just like with some fangs on it.
Yeah. We'll see when we get it, because some of the things look completely different.
Yeah.
The material might be different, everything.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like how the difference once you guys fight on Saturday. So you have to let me know. But by the way, and I don't even know if you're gonna watch this, but are you gonna watch the boxing match next Saturday, Askren and Paul? Do you care about that stuff at all?
I mean, I do watch these things. It's entertainment. It's always the takeaway from everything. Like, you never know if you never know if I'm requested for a boxing match. You never know. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I just feel like Ben better put in work. That's it. MMA hands are different from boxing hands.
Yeah. I mean, people feel like the longer the fight goes, the more it favors Ben. If he gets close and clinches and starts to wear Jake down, that's his road to victory. But he's been working with, he's not an idiot. Like, he knows what he's doing. He trains with high level strikers. He's worked with Freddie Roach. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. Like, a lot of people are overlooking Ben. They feel like Jake's the better boxer, but are you siding with Ben here? Like, if you had to make a prediction,
yeah,
are you picking,
if I had to make
him?
a prediction, it'll probably be Ben. Ben will either win by unanimous decision or finish him in the third
round. Getting it done quick. That'd be awesome.
Because I've seen this guy fight Jake Paul, and he swings for the clouds. He's gonna burn himself out.
There you go, man. Well, I know you got a lot going on. It's great catching up with you, William, and a big fight coming up on Saturday. I know you got medical, so hopefully this could pass the time a little bit as you await this kind of painful part of the whole process. But I appreciate the time very much, man, and all the best to you on Saturday.